Okay, gentlemen, so from today we are going to start a new course. It's about professional ethics for engineers. It's about ethical issues for engineers. So it's in our curriculum, it's a 2 credit hour course. So let me start with Bismillah, Alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulullah. ربي اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. So my dear students and all engineers, viewers, we will discuss today chapter number 1 about introduction. This is from about engineering ethics. As you know, I am Professor Rafiq from Department of Civil Engineering, College of Engineering, Imam Muhammad bin Saud Islamic University, Riyadh, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. So we are going to start with the simple things. As you know that we study science, science like knowledge based on observation and experiment. And then I'm not going to define, but I'm just going to make a little background for this course about engineering ethics. So technology is like we use technology, like we are using mobile phone. So to communicate, we are using technology. You know? We are casting concrete, we are using a concrete pump, we are using technology. We are excavating, doing excavation, we are using a backhoe. Our tunnel boring machines, so we are using technology. You know? So there are technical colleges where people study these trades, like they have sub-engineering course or associate engineering course, or they have a diploma, or they some people get training for a carpenter as an electrician, or so. In those, like they need to be familiar with the technology, you know, how to use that technology. You know, like if we are using mobile phones, so we should know how to use technology. You know? But when it comes to engineering, engineering means that emphasis is always on design. Emphasis in engineering is always on design, that we have to use. Design new products, new structures, new things. So about the technology, new equipment. So it's like more innovation related things and emphasis on that. Engineer, they should study the engineering disciplines. And they should study about how to design a structure, or how to design a product, or how to make new products. So emphasis is on design. Now, in the design, sometimes, engineering ethics, meaning is that we should use all these codes and standards and design codes, maybe like ACI code or ASHTO code, whatever, we are using OSHA standard for safety or any other standards. So we should be using all those standards in a good way, and we should be following those codes of ethics, that there should not be any failure or anything wrong happening, making mistakes in using a formula or quoting of any code. So it's that we should be, take care for the engineering ethics and work with honesty, and then the structure, they should not fail, So the structure should be safe. We will discuss these things, inshallah, in detail in this course. So this course, as I said, is a professional ethics for engineers. Now, for this course, we are going to follow the textbook is Engineering Ethics. It's a 4th edition book, by Charles Fidelman. Okay, Charles Fidelman. So it's he is from University of New Mexico. This is like we are going to, of course, we will add some other reference books also, but mainly we will follow as a textbook this book Engineering Ethics. So the book look like first this Engineering Ethics is the fourth edition. So now what first chapter is in this is introduction, you know. So engineering professional ethics for engineers, engineering ethics is like it will be applicable to all kinds of engineering, whether it's a civil engineering or electrical engineering, or it's mechanical engineering, or it is related to chemical engineering or petroleum engineering or software engineering, or maybe it's mechatronics or industrial engineering, manufacturing engineering, avionics engineering, or maybe aerospace engineering or aeronautical engineering. So all kinds of engineering, this course will be applicable for all the engineers from all disciplines of engineering, okay? Maybe software engineering or whatever, you know. So it's objective, you know. So like what they say, after reading this chapter, you will be able to know why it is important to study engineering ethics. Okay, after reading this chapter, you will be able to know why it is important to study engineering ethics, understand the distinction between professional and personal ethics. Okay. So what's the difference between professional ethics and personal ethics? Then understand or comprehend how ethical problem solving and engineering design are similar. Okay, so after studying this chapter, we will be able to understand how ethical problem solving and engineering design are similar. So let's move to the next slide. As this engineers are guardian of public safety. Okay, so it means whatever engineers design the structure that should be safe for the use of the public or for any user. You know? So whatever engineer design a structure or any product or equipment or device, so that should be safe for the society, for the for human being. When physician make a mistake, one patient dies. And if an engineer makes a mistake, 100 people could die. So 100, now it's 100 people died in a hotel fire in 2003 in USA. The book is going to discuss these kind of things. Some went more than 70 surgeries, strive to eliminate accidents, injuries, and death in the engineering projects. Okay. So see, it's like engineers, they are the guardian of public safety. Okay. So when physician make a mistake, one patient, you know, if a doctor, a medical doctor make any wrong thing, so it means one patient can die. But if a high-rise building, you know, 80-story building collapse, so or a bridge collapse, many people could die. You know. So then in the book they discuss fire in a hotel, and that where more than 100 people died in that hotel. So they say, and due to these fire and people got injuries, wounds. So some people they went surgery, so they were operated 70 times. You know, so it is very painful. You know that one person is going to be have operation for 70 times. So it's a very painful things. This is like the engineer, whatever they are going to design, any structure, any device, any product, so that must be safe. So as a whole, we engineers, we must strive to eliminate accidents, and there should not be injuries or deaths in the engineering projects. Whatever these, if we design any equipment or any because this course is applicable to all kinds of engineering disciplines. So here the book is going to discuss a Ford Pinto accident. So there is a case study. It's on August 10, 1978. A Ford Pinto was hit from behind on a highway in Indiana, USA, leading to the deaths of three teenage girls riding in the car. The dilemma faced by the design engineers who worked on the Pinto was to balance the safety of the people who would be riding in the car against the need to produce the Pinto at a price that would be competitive in the market. So at that time, issue was that this Ford company, they want to bring their new products. So it's 1978. So the way they designed the oil like tanker, it was in the behind, so when it was hit from backside, so then there is a lot of fire, and then so see is three girls, they got death because of this accident. So after that, there was a lot of things happening that it was a design fault. See, they, like design engineers, had to attempt to balance their duty to the public against their duty to their employer. So at the employer at that time, they were trying to bring the new model as soon as possible, to compete in the market and to make profit. But they have not they have not paid attention that they should take care for this that they design fault. Ultimately, the attempt by the Ford to save a few dollars in manufacturing cost led to the expenditure of millions of dollars in defending lawsuits and payment to the victims. So it's because of this accident, so those death occurred, and there was a lawsuit, and it was established that it was a design fault. So the company had to pay a lot of, have to pay these lawsuits, face these lawsuits, and they have to pay a lot of money into to defend those lawsuits, and then to pay the money to the victims, because it was established that it was a design fault. Okay, so it was a fault on the company that they make a wrong design. That when it was hit from behind, so the car is going to caught a fire, and then so company did not care that they launched the product very soon, that they want to make money, to bring the new model in the market. So, but they did not care for proper design. So this was like a case study, Ford Motors. So now it's during their undergraduate education, engineers receive training in basic and engineering sciences, problem solving methodology, and engineering design, but generally receive little training in business practices, safety, and ethics. Okay. So this is this chapter is introduction. First chapter is introduction to engineering ethics. So what they say that usually, we have a bachelor engineers, and then after bachelor engineers, some people even they don't get later, opportunity to get master degree or to get PhD degree. So it's they spend whole life after in the companies by designing structures and products and devices. They spend their whole life after having a bachelor degree. So it was like need that bachelor engineers, they are going to study basic engineering sciences like physics, chemistry, and then they are going to study a lot of mathematics and problem solving techniques and methodology. So they study many subjects about engineering design, but they do not study much about those engineering ethics are there are safe practices of design. So what are the business ethics? This thing was lacking, in the courses. But then this problem has been partially corrected as many engineering education programs now have courses in what is called engineering ethics. So these days, like in USA, Abbott and other bodies who are going to do accreditation for the engineering programs. So in almost every engineering programs, they have included this course that in bachelor engineers, they must study about engineering ethics. Yes. So that whatever they design, that should be safe and durable, good for the users. So we will move forward with this. Indeed, the Accreditation Board for Engineering and Technology in Abbott has mandated that ethics topics be incorporated into undergraduate engineering curricula. So now in every country, almost in every country, that about a topic about engineering ethics has been included in the undergraduate courses. So that's why this course, I think, is very important for every kind of engineer or every discipline of engineering. The purpose of this course to provide a text and a resource for the study of engineering ethics and to help future engineers be prepared for confronting and resolving ethical dilemmas such as the design of an unsafe product or structure. So see, this is the purpose of this course that the student should study engineering ethics so that they should be like if there is any ethical dilemma, there is an unsafe design or unsafe product has been designed or unsafe structure that could fail. So they should pay attention to these things, how to prevent these failures, how to prevent these failures by the users. So we are going to study what are ethics. Okay. So this chapter actually we will study two parts, part 1 and part 2. So this lecture we are going to discuss part 1 of this topic. First chapter, introduction. So we will complete this introduction chapter in 2 parts, to keep the video short. Otherwise it's going to be more than 1 hour. So then sometimes students, they are going to lose interest, when they watch these recorded videos. So what are ethics? People develop their ethics based on interaction with their parents, family members, ministers, religious beliefs, professors, peers, or through mass media. So they, like when a person is going to born, so then he is going to learn from his parents, okay, then from his family members, brothers, sisters, other relatives, and then in his community, he is going to learn from his friends in the school, and then he is going to learn about religious beliefs or those ministers, or he is going to learn from his colleagues, or he is going to learn things from the mass media, these television or newspaper journals and things like this, or through from their in the university, from the professors, from their teachers in school and in the high school and in the university. So everybody is going to learn from his professors. So now in US, they did a survey, and based on that survey, they are going to put these results. They ask some questions. So what the answer was, what my feeling tell me is right is 50%. In accordance with my religious belief, I am going to learn about 25%. Conform to the golden rule, do unto others as you would have them to do unto you. So it's about 25%. So they did this questionnaire survey. From the survey results, they said that so people are going to learn what is right or wrong. My feeling tells me what is right or wrong. It's like 50% is learning by this way, and then 25% learning is from the religious belief. You know? So if somebody is a Muslim or Christian or other religion, so it's 20%, 25% from the religious belief or thoughts. So one person grow up, and then 25% is from the golden rule. Golden rule means that you should behave in a good way if you think that other people behave in a good way with you. So it's so if you want that someone should not abuse to you, it means you should not abuse anyone. So this is a golden rule, that do deal with the other people in a way that you are expecting that other people will deal with you. So think about you. So it's so if somebody is used to use bad words in his talk, so he can expect that his friends or his other people will respond in the same way. So if you think that everybody will behave in a good manner with you, so you should also behave in a good manner with all your colleagues, with all your in your whatever you talk. So keep your thinking positive. So this is the based on the survey results about how this people we are going to learn about ethics. Now we are going to discuss what is the difference between ethics and morals. Okay? So ethics versus morals in this slide. Ethics is the study of the characteristics of morals. Ethics is the study of characteristics of morals. Ethics deals with the moral choices that are made by each person in his or her relationship with other persons. So ethics deal with the moral choices that are made by each person in his or her relationship with other persons. So ethics implies conformity with an elaborated ideal code of moral principles, sometimes specifically with the code of particular profession. So like this is the medical profession, this is the engineering profession. So you have to follow your code of ethics in your profession. Like it's American Society of Civil Engineers, they have their code. IEEE, they have their code. Similarly, other mechanical engineering, they have their code of ethics. So people are going to follow those code of ethics in their particular profession. It is conforming to code of conduct set forth by professional societies. So these codes are prepared by these professional societies like American Society of Civil Engineers or American Society of Mechanical Engineers. So these codes are set by those societies. Okay? So these are actually ethics. These are to follow the written codes. Okay? To follow the written codes like ACI code, AASHTO code. Okay, so we have to follow written standards and codes. Okay, in our design. Then it's ethics. Engineering ethics is the rules and standards. Rules and standards governing the conduct of engineers in their role as a professionals. So engineering ethics is the rules and standards governing the conduct of engineers in their roles as professionals. Okay, so they have to follow their those standards, design codes in a good way. So they should not make mistakes, or they should not design any wrong way. Okay, or keep the proper factor of safety. So engineering ethics is a body of philosophy indicating the ways that engineers should conduct themselves in their professional capacity. Engineering ethics as a body of philosophy indicating the ways that engineers should conduct themselves in their professional capacity. So whatever they have to follow those codes And by following those codes, so they should prepare their design in a professional way, so in a professional way. No, moral is different. Moral is moral implies conformity with the generally accepted standards of goodness or rightness in conduct or character. So morals are related to people behaving in a manner that is acceptable to society. The morals is I think a moral like akhlaqiyat, akhlaq, we care about this akhlaq. It's very important in religious belief, in Muslim religious belief also. It's very important thing. So, but this is morals are related to people behaving in a manner that is acceptable to society. Okay, so it's what they say is moral, that it's not written things. Okay, so it can change from country to country, or from society to society, or from culture to culture. So this could change. For example, just to make clear, if I give example in a way that, say, for example, we are now in Saudi Arabia. In Saudi Arabia, women usually wear abaya, abaya, hijab. For the women, they wear, students also, gents, they wear the dress, top, long, dress. So it's like the way they dress up. Okay, but in USA, like the women, they sometimes they wear a skirt. So skirt is acceptable in the USA society or in the Western society, but that is not acceptable in the Saudi society for women. So it's like moral is the is something generally accepted standard of goodness in conduct or character. Okay, so that this is right or wrong. So moral related to people behaving in a manner that is acceptable to the society or in a culture or in a nation. So it's it could vary from culture to culture, from country to country. Okay? But in the ethics, they are written codes. Okay, they are written codes of ethics, so that will be same for engineers working in USA and working in Saudi Arabia, working in Pakistan, or in any other country. It will be same for every engineers because they are going to follow the written code of ethics. So why study engineering ethics? Okay, so this is what we are going to discuss next. Is so in Quran is Surah Al-Ma'idah, chapter number 5, verse number 105. This is the we are going to see the translation. O you who believe, take care of your own self, do righteous deeds, fear Allah much, abstain from all kinds of sin and evil deeds which He has forbidden, and love Allah much. Perform all kinds of good deeds which He has ordained. If you follow the right guidance and join what is right, Islamic monotheism, and all that Islam orders one to do, and forbid what is wrong. Okay, and forbid what is wrong, like polytheism, disbelief, and all that Islam has forbidden. So if you follow this way, no hurt can come to you from those who are in error. So if somebody went astray or a disbeliever, so no one can harm you. The return of you all is to Allah. So everybody has to go back to Allah. Then He will inform you about all that which you used to do. So Allah will let you know that what you are doing in this world. So what you are doing in this world. So this ayah is very important especially for Muslims, that in this world they are being monitored, and whatever they do, the right thing, the wrong thing, wrong. So they are answerable to that. Okay, they will be like Jannah and Jahannam, and there will be a punishment if somebody is going to do wrong things. Okay, so every Muslim is accountable, before Allah. So everybody has to return to Allah, and at that time Allah will show you that whatever is according to small sin or small good deeds. So like a zarra, is خيرا يرى وشرا يرى وخيرا يرى. ومن يعمل مثقال ذرة شرا يرى ومن يعمل مثقال ذرة خيرا يرى. So whatever you do, it's even small, you are answerable to that. So it's we should be very careful in our following the engineering ethics, that whatever we are going to do, we should do in a good way, in a good manner and in a correct way, and do not make any mistakes or misuse of those codes and ethics, those standards and codes. So why study engineering ethics? Okay, why is it important for engineering students to study engineering ethics? Okay. So it's very important for students to study ethics, that whatever they are going to do, so they are accountable for that one before Allah. And so that's why we are going to, every engineer need to pay attention that they are going to work with honesty. Several notorious cases that have been received a great deal of media attention in the past few years have led engineers to gain an increased sense of their professional responsibilities. Now, see, in the media, or what we learn, that there is a malpractices, or somebody is taking corruption, involved in corruption, or taking money under the table, or so making wrong design, not maintaining the quality, or if those products failed, or some accident happens happen in the history. So all these things in the past, these kind of cases, they are going to tell us that we should work in a good manner, in a good way, and take care for the engineering ethics. The work of engineers can affect public health, okay, public health safety, and can influence business practices and even politics. So engineering work is very important, so it's that they have to be take care. Their work is going to like environmental impact. So their work is going to affect the public health of the people. If there is a pollution, air pollution or soil pollution or water pollution, or there is during the war or something, and their work is very important to maintain public safety. That those structures, what they are going to design, they are safe, and they will not collapse. And there will not be failure, so public can use those bridges, high-rise buildings, or whatever, those products, those even cars or any trucks or equipment, so they should not fail. So this is going to, when these things happen in the organizations, so then these accidents are going to affect to the public at large. So if something wrong is happening, even these in the medical field, or in the medicine, or in this defense industry, or construction industry, or any other manufacturing industry, or any other industry. You will study important cases from the past so that you will know what situation other engineers have faced, and will know what to do when similar situation arise in your professional career. So this chapter is about introduction. So in this, and there will be lot many case studies we are going to discuss and that will help us that we should be learning from failures, why those accidents had happened in the past, and why those failure happened. So we are going to learn all those situations, and so that in our discipline, we should be more careful in our design when we design our structures or products. So you will learn techniques for analyzing and resolving ethical problems when they arise. In this course, we are going to learn all those techniques and how we will analyze those ethical problems and why those accident or incidents have happened, or failure in those devices or products happen. Our goal is frequently summed up using the term moral autonomy. Okay? So our goal is frequently summed up using the term moral autonomy. So what is moral autonomy? Moral autonomy is the ability to think critically and independently about the moral issues and to apply this moral thinking to situations that arise in the course of professional engineering practice. So we have to think critically and independently in moral issues and apply that moral thinking in our situations, So when we design our structures or we use our codes, our standards, so in our discipline. So we should, take care for the moral autonomy that we are doing the right thing. We should not be involved in any wrongdoing or in corruption or malpractices or using the code in the wrong way or taking side of the employer or some other, someone who can affect. So we should be doing, producing design independently and taking care for the public. The goal of this course is to foster the moral autonomy of future engineers, so that engineers, they should be morally autonomous, and they should do independently with the honesty, do the right things, not influenced by any employer or any organization, okay, and do the wrong things, So the term engineering ethics apply to study of the moral issues and decisions confronting individuals and organizations, engaged in engineering profession. So engineering ethics, this is a study of moral issues that we will do. We will do independently in a moral autonomy in a good way and make our decisions, whether we are working within the group or within the individuals or within the teams or with the organizations that they are responsible for making those design. So we should be doing the things in a good way and in a perfect, according to the design and specifications. So this, with this, we are going to finish this part, first part of this chapter. In part 2, we will start from this point, what is called, we shall discuss this engineering is managing the unknown. Engineering is managing the unknown. Engineering design is about creating new devices, products, and structures. When something is new, many questions need to be answered, okay? So when because we are dealing with innovative products, innovative design, so it's something we know, okay? And something we know partially, and something that we don't know, what will happen, when we design new products. So we are engineers need to deal with the unknowns when we do the innovation or design new structures or design new products, new devices. So what will be the outcome? Sometimes we are not familiar. So that's why it's from this we will start this introduction chapter in the next lecture recording. So inshallah we will continue this. There are 8 chapters in this book. Probably it's not very it's a 2-credit course. So inshallah we will. If every chapter is 2 videos, so we can finish in 16 videos of this course, engineering ethics. So I would appreciate all the engineers who will watch, so they can share with their colleagues, so that they can learn about engineering ethics, and everybody is responsible that engineers should design structures in a safe way and do not make any mistake in their calculation work for the design calculation, or using those softwares in the design. So whatever, we will study a lot of things in this course. So you can share this with your colleagues. And inshallah, next time we will study the, the second part of this chapter. So at the end, let me say, Subhanakallahumma bihamdika nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. So thank you very much for your attention, and see you next time.